Hello everyone, so this is going to be a long video, but we have to have this discussion because this is a very important topic, not just for my generation, for the next generation too, because if it's bad in this generation, for my generation, what's it going to be like for the next generation? Because things are only getting worse, unfortunately. I have to say the truth because it is the truth. The things are only getting worse, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to stop. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse. So, if it's bad now, it's going to be certainly bad for the next generation. And these are our young people, the next generation, the next future of this country. And unfortunately, our politicians are empty and don't care. And it's a sad state of affairs for this country that we have such potential. Well, Irish citizens are such great people, and we have such greatness. But unfortunately, we're pretty much giving that to the world now. And we're bringing in the world instead of keeping the Irish people here. But anyway, that's the story for a different day. But it is heartbreaking to see this because just looking through because pretty much the whole lot of this is pretty much majority young people from 18 to 25 or so, nearly 94 or 95% I think, nearly said that will consider leaving this country. It's quite insane. And then especially when you read the media and the government reports, you think everybody thought Ireland was made out of gold. They said they were the richest country in the world. We have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. In every budget we have surpluses. Not many other countries in the world can say that. Hundreds of millions of euro in surplus. Hundreds of billions, excuse me. Not hundreds of millions, hundreds of billions. But sure, the money goes into a black hole. But it is... among the full-time students, 94% cite rent and accommodation. Just think about that. The majority of our young students, they get a degree, they're struggling to get a degree. But as soon as they get the degree, because I know so many young people who got a degree in Ireland and had to pay huge student accommodation prices. As soon as they got the degree, they were off. They went to Australia, never to return. So it's a sad state of affairs. Youth homelessness has increased by 30%. Like, the figures just get worse and worse and worse. Like, it really would depress you. You would wonder why people are depressed when you really see this kind of stuff, because there's nothing positive to take away from it. And particularly when you see the government in the budget that's coming up in October, not a hope of them doing anything for anybody. For the refugees, of course, but not for the Irish people. 8 in 10 young people say they fulfil the future. The two-thirds believe equality better life outside of Ireland, which is 8 and 10. You know, it's that's a stark figure when you really sit down and think. But that's really stark, and I don't think we fully understand. And I don't think even I fully understand when I sit down in the evening and think about this kind of stuff. I don't think it can register how upset and how dissatisfied our generation is, our young people. How I suppose how fucked. Let's put it nicely. Well, not nicely. Let's just put it straight. How fucked over they are, because of an evil fucking tyrant of a government. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. We see years ago it was doable. People could achieve something. Even my parents and my grandparents could, if they worked hard, they were able to get somewhere. Nowadays you could bust your bollocks every day for the next 70 years and you still wouldn't get anywhere, because you'll still never be able to afford a mortgage or even be able to pay the rent at the end of the week. Take for example, I'm not using my just case, but just take for example, normally person at Tretty owns about 500 or 550 a week, and the average rent in Ireland is about 1,000 euro nearly at this stage a week in a lot of places. Like, it's insane. So how would a young person be able, and then to raise a family and get a car and all that, you couldn't do it, and go to college, you couldn't do it. No young person could do it. And people say people should work hard and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter how hard you work, you're not get any extra money for working harder. But it just shows you how upset our generation is, and it's a silent majority, unfortunately, because we're not vocal enough. And I'm not saying I want things handed for me, given to me for free. I don't expect that. The government shouldn't give me stuff for free, even though I'm an Irish citizen. Stuff the same with other people, Irish citizens. They shouldn't get things handed for free. But what I'm trying to say is meet them in the middle. Help them out a bit, and give them the stepping stones. Give them the stones, like pretty much, where you build a house or anything like that. Give them the stones to build up their foundations, to make a good life, to make something of themselves. But at the moment, the government's instead of giving them the blocks to make your career, make your life, and to have a family, the government give you the finger, and that's all they give you, and then take your money, every penny that you have, give it to the refugees, pretty much, and give it to the European Union, unfortunately. But it's a sad state of affairs when you really read this figure, because we should be all up in arms over this, because this is definition of evil when you see governments do this to the native people and to the people that do it. It's insane. But of course, Weds are to blame. A lot of Weds, like, it's insane. I don't know how a young person could wet the place, to be totally honest. I don't know. Let's put it this way. For me, I could probably wet the place and my salary and stuff like that. But it would be hard. And this is only a rural county, but it would be hard to wet it. I'd probably just wet it no more. What I mean by that, I would just have enough probably to do. Just about, give or take. But at the end of the day, I should, after going to work on a 40-hour week, you shouldn't have to worry about paying the bills and stuff. You should have plenty to do. But it's the fact of the matter, people could work 90 hours a week and still wouldn't have the money, because it's just fucked up. The whole system is just fucked up. The whole society, the whole foundation of this state is out to fuck people over, and particularly young Irish people. The whole state is out to fuck them. Excuse my language, but we have to say this for what it is, because we can't bullshit around. Because the majority of people are sick. I hear all the young people, they're sick of listening to politicians talking waffle and talking shit and talking about doing this and doing that, and then nothing's ever fucking done. And there's a lot of fucking in this discussion, but it is the straight up truth. Like, we can't live there and say, oh, the politicians should do this and they should do that and they should do this, and just be, oh, we could do this, and then, oh, should the politicians doing this, and then, oh, should look at, we can't be like that. We have to be fucking very demanding, because we, like, the young people of Ireland, the people who went out in 1916, they wanted a future for our young Irish people, so they have a life, so they could have a family, so they could succeed in life and build a life in Ireland. And what kind of a life are we making for them? What kind of life? Because I would love some of these politicians to explain, why did so many people go out and sacrifice themselves for Ireland, for our independence, for our sovereignty, when we treat our generation more than 100 years later after the 1916 rising? This is what's happening. And it's a sorry state of affairs. It really, really is. And we are a sorry state of a country if we're forgetting our youth. And we're letting our youth go. And I think it's a sad thing. And not even mention, we talked about the rent and accommodation. Take, for example, electricity bills are the highest. If you did get a place to rent, you had to pay a huge amount of electricity bills. Not even that, broadband prices too. Bin charges, etc. The whole shebang. Then if you get a car and start paying petrol, you wonder how anybody could afford to live anywhere. But yeah, this is another sorry state of affairs. In the last 12 months to April 2025, 13,000, nearly 14,000, the whole population of Cavan Town pretty much, have left to go to Australia. And that's just Australia, that's not even counting New Zealand, other countries. And it is really, really sad. It really, really is. There's 14,000 pretty much Irish people that should be here in Ireland and making a life, making a family, able to buy a home within the next few years. They do have a hope. And it really, really is sad. And personally, I know a lot of people would ask me for my opinion. I often get it asked, would I ever leave? I could have left. I could have left long ago. I'm not afraid to bust myself. I'm not afraid to work. I'm not really bothered about owning my own house and stuff. I'm more worried about my fellow countrymen. I'm not worried about myself. I'm more worried about my generation getting a house and being looked after. I really couldn't give a damn about myself. I'm past the point in really caring. But see, when you start this political activist on life, when you show your face and stuff and your name's out there, they call you far right extremist, etc., you really stop giving a shit about yourself. So I'm pretty much here. When the country collapses, I'll be here pretty much too. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not abandoning this country, and I plan to go down with the ship if that's necessary. Because I believe in this country. I believe in the foundations of this country. I don't believe in the government, but I believe in the people. I believe in the idea of Ireland. I believe what these men and women in 1916 were out to do. I believe in the people who went out during the War of Independence and seen the vision of our future and seen what we could be and what we could do if we worked together as Irish people to achieve it. And I still believe in that to this day. I still believe that their vision, we shouldn't give up on what they fought for. And we should not give up as this generation too. We should not give up on the next generation. Our generation might be fucked, but we owe it, goddammit, to the next generation of Irish people that we make sure that they have what we don't have. And I think I'm willing to stay here and fight for it, because that's at the end of the day what we need. We need people to stand and fight for this generation. Because the government are getting off with too much, and we shouldn't let them off with it. And the only way to do it is to speak our minds and to speak clearly and loudly. that this government is the evilest bunch of hooligans we have ever seen in the Irish state. That are the most anti-Irish people imaginable. And we owe it to ourselves to stand up. But just to answer the simple question, I don't think I ever leave. Be totally honest, I'm going to stay. So as that. Many people said I could have made a big life for myself somewhere else, because a lot of people can see that I'm willing to, like, particularly compared to other young people, I'm willing to bust myself. I have a reputation of busting myself. Obviously a lot of people wouldn't agree with my views, etc., etc. So that's what holds me back in life. I could be in the big government job in the Department of Defence or somewhere, big job in Dublin, €1,000 a week. But I choose my views and my opinions and my thought and my view in life more important than any fucking government fucking job. Let them stick it up the hole. But that's what I deem it as. Because speaking your mind and speaking freely and speaking about these things instead of sitting in silence, because silence is complicity, is the best thing to do. So pretty much that ship has sailed in terms of me ever succeeding in anything. But I don't really care, because we have to do it. It's not a choice of you mustn't do it. You have to do it because we owe it to the next generation, and it's only by speaking up that we can do it. But it is really, really a sad state of affairs, and sadly there's so many. I know so many young people. It's heartbreaking to think of how many young people have left. And I know from my community, from other parts of my community too, that have left. I would need 6 or 7 hands to count it all out, to be told. And it's a stark figure to say, but it is the truth. And I can't tell you how many are leaving and are planning to leave and getting the money to leave. It is sad. I only hope that God can help us, because that's the only fellow who can help us. The only person, the only human that can really help us is Almighty God, that He gets rid of this evil government and finds some way of putting in people that care and have a soul and have a heart, because the people that are in government at the moment don't have a soul, don't have a heart. The only thing they go by is money and power, the devil's work. And I only hope that we get good people that have good hearts in government. That's my only prayer and hope. But it is a sad state of affairs, and I'm sure everybody will. But anyway, let me know what you think. What's your situation if you're a young person in Ireland? I'm sad to say the majority of responses will be saying I'm pretty much lost. I don't have any hope. I'm planning to leave. It's tragic. It really, really is tragic. I don't think there's any way to describe it. What I see, but I'm always heartbroken when I hear these kind of stuff. I'm always distraught a bit in myself. Because it's not what we should be listening. It's not what should be happening, what we should be listening to. We should be hearing that young Irish people can make a life, can actually achieve stuff in Ireland, can actually have a life, build a family. We shouldn't be listening to, there's no hope for Johnny or there's no hope for Mary in Ireland. We shouldn't be doing it. Anyway, thank you, everyone.